Alright, here I'm getting ready to change the exhaust on my old truck. Truck's got 185,000 miles on it, and it pulls our camper. This truck has been a good truck. It's been in an accident. A lady totaled her '08 Durango into the side of it, and the insurance company salvaged it. So I went ahead and rebuilt it, put it back together. The frame was straight, but I had to do a lot of body work on it. And other than that, it's been a pretty good truck. Let me show you the exhaust I got on there now. I have a K&N cold air. You can see that over there, kind of pieces of it. There's another part of it. And I put these, let's see if I can get light in here, those headers on it. They're just shorty headers. They're the Summit Flowtech headers. They're not equal length. The flanges, although they're thick flanges, if you get them right out of the box, put a straight edge to them. Some of them are worse than others. I had to go through a couple sides before I found ones that were straight enough. Even then, I had to spend $40 on gaskets to make sure that they sealed off. Here's the other side. No big deal there. Let me see if we can get underneath here. I don't know if this light will reach or if I've got enough room. What I had done, let me get this step stool out of the way. Whenever I put these on, I had them bend the exhaust for me, and then I wrapped it, of course, to keep everything cool. But that wrap just eats the pipe up. This pipe in here is thin. It's just, it's still solid, but it's flaking away. And you can see the wrap goes all the way back to the, there's the Y. These are 2.5 inch off of the headers. Of course, I didn't need that O2 sensor for this, and I had them put a bung right there. Let me see if I can get a little further in here. And it goes into the Y, which is wrapped, and then it turns into a 3 inch, which it goes 3 inch all the way back into a welded muffler, which I know this is upside down. Let me try to flip it around here. Anyways, it goes into a 3 inch muffler and then over the axle and back. So I'm going to try to make it where you can at least hear what these sound like in case you would like to run this exhaust. And let's see here, hop in the trunk real quick, turn the key, if the key's in it, and I don't feel the key. There we go. Alright. I said it's got a lot of miles on it. See if I can get the exhaust kicked down real quick. I'm not running with the mass air meters hooked up, but it's not getting any air drawn through, so. That's what it sounds like. Oh, and I put one of these things on here just to make it look a little bit better. There's a little bit of packing in there, but it's old. Anyways, that's the old exhaust. That's what it sounds like. And I'm going to be installing some new exhaust, something a little bit more familiar, at least to me. I've had a couple sets of Shorty's headers before. I've never really liked them, except for equal length. So I'm putting these on here. They're full length headers. They're shiny. I'll give an update on that whenever they're back in. But so I got a little bit of work cut out for me. Everything should come off pretty good. Those manifolds were a real pain years ago. But anyways, we'll see how this works out, and I'll clip it in whenever I've got most of the work done, or the work all done, and we'll go from there. Okay, here's an update to the header addition. The new headers went on pretty good, and trying to open the hood here with one hand. Hold on. Okay, the headers went on pretty well. Wasn't very difficult because I already done most of the work when I put on the shorties, but anyways, you can see them here. Let's go ahead and do that. There you go. Nice and shiny. They probably only have about 20 miles on them, so I'm thinking they're getting cured. There's a curing process with these, I guess. But the fit was pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get underneath here and take a look, but it's a good quality fit that's underneath there. So now what these are the Headman, I don't remember the part number, full length headers, the HTC coated. They are 14 gauge, which is thicker than those 16 gauge shorties that I have. Of course, it's a 3/8 flange, just like the other one. Just ignore that. That's truck drivers that don't realize that there's no engine brake in this area, as voted by the township, and nobody enforces it, so they don't care. They just do what they want. Going back to this, I cracked a spark plug whenever I installed them, because I'm too lazy to take out the spark plugs, and the tune-up was just done not that long ago. I can't remember when I did it, but it wasn't that long ago. But so I got MSD wires over the Ford racing wires. Those MSD, the superconductors, the 8.5s, much better. I used to run them all the time on 5-liter Mustangs back in the 90s, and I don't remember why I ran them, but I remember that I came to the conclusion that that was the best wire for me, and the 6A boxes that were running and Jacobs ignition modules, coils that were running back again in the 90s. And some reason I got away from them, and I got Ford racing wires, and the ohm per foot on the Ford racing wires seemed kind of high, plus the boots were kind of soft, plus the lock on them wasn't very good. They didn't lock on the spark plug extremely well. Well, anyways, the performance seems a little better. I got some of my low end torque back. Before, I had the shorty headers that were those Flowtechs from Summit, and they were approximately, well, I don't know, $180, something like that. And they bolt up to the factory manifold, factory Y pipe. But I had those shorties. I had a 2.5-inch Y pipe made, no catalytic converter, into a Y that went to a 3-inch, and the 3-inch went back into a welded muffler, and then a 3-inch out the rest of the truck, all the way out to the side. And that's what the previous part of this video was it running. I apologize. I covered up the microphone whenever I was showing you the exhaust side of it, the outlet. I didn't realize it. I covered up the microphone with my hand, and the sound's not the best, but I'll try to get a better sound on this one. This time, I lost some low end torque with the other. It had great horsepower in the higher ranges, but I definitely lost some low end. So I went to these full length, which just going to the full length was going to give me better low end torque. But I also changed the Y size to a 2.5, and I'm sorry, a 2 1/4, and I went 2 1/4 into a Y, and then the Y turns to a 2.5 and runs back into the 3-inch welded muffler, and then it's 3-inch all the way out. And again, I don't think I'm going to be able to show this, but let me try. See if you can see there. I'll try to hold it so you can see the pipe. I guess you can see it a little bit. I can't tell if you're seeing what I'm seeing or not, but anyways, that's the exhaust. Now, so let's go ahead and start it up. I got a squeaky belt because the truck's sat so long, so just kind of ignore the squeaky belt. And the truck's filthy. I got new windshield coming for this tomorrow. Now the belt don't seem to be squeaking. I've got to re-torque the headers. You can hear a little bit of a tapping over here. Very, very light. And the sound is toned down a little bit. It's not near as bad as it was as far as noise. It kind of points up a little bit. I'm going to have to do something about that, but it's still idling high. It's still in the cold start. I see smoke starting to come out now. It's a little bit chilly out. It's only about 40 degrees out, which is considerably warmer than it has been the last couple days. Let me see if I can get this to kick down. So that's what it sounds like. Nothing exciting. Like I said, there's a little bit of a ticking that I've got to fix. But if you're wanting to do, let me turn this off. If you're wanting to do a header change over, I don't know if I would, let me try to turn this around so you can see who's talking. I don't know if I would change necessarily to a shorty header unless, you know, I honestly can't think of a reason to go with a shorty header. Other than you had to replace your manifold because it's cracked maybe, but even then the cast iron manifolds are really nice. They're quiet, they offer decent amount of torque. This isn't a high performance vehicle at all, but even if you had a high performance vehicle, I had really good luck with equal length shorty headers and X pipes, but as far as on bone stock engine and with just a white pipe, I'm happy with the full length headers and the white pipe. I wasn't happy with the shorty headers and the white pipe. Some of that had to do with me making the Y on it a little bit too big. However, the pipe size, being that it was 2.5 and then going into a 3. However, it wasn't that much difference. I mean, it seemed like I lost a decent amount of torque, which it's got 355 gears in it, and whenever I'm into overdrive at 70 miles an hour and I was coming upon any kind of an inclination, a rise in the road, it would start to falter a little bit. It had a tendency to where you had to mash it a little bit further and kick it down. I've already noticed in the short bit of time that I've had these full lengths and that smaller white pipe on there that I'm getting into overdrive a little bit sooner, and the truck isn't coming out of overdrive as much, and highway speeds it feels real comfortable too. So anyways, you can take that for what it's worth. You can leave comments on it if you like. I'm sure that everybody has their opinions on the shorty headers. For the most part though, I don't recommend them unless you just want to say you have headers, or you're getting rid of your manifolds and you want to go to something a little bit easier to deal with, other than them bolting on and you know, finagling your dipstick and you know, spark plug boot interference. I like headers overall better, but I would go with full lengths. The difference in price is something that you have to consider though. The shorty headers, like I said, I think they were 160 to 170, somewhere in that range. The full length headers that I have on there, the HTC coated ones, which also have the thicker wall, they're 14 gauge, 338. So I mean, you're running into you know, almost twice as much money just for the difference in the headers. But I don't think that I would go to a short header ever again unless it was just a factory fit problem. Thanks for watching, and again, comment if you have different thoughts about this. But I think for the most part everybody's going to be pretty much on the same playing field if they've done this in the past and found out that full length is definitely the way to go for most applications that are stock, without losing any torque. Thanks a lot.